Hello and welcome to the Anime Abroad podcast. This is episode 69. I'm your host Kyle, and I'm joined by Jared, Ackee, and Patrick. Hello, guys.
Oh, hey there.
Today we were going to record the anime of the year 2017, but we scrapped that because it's way too late. We're into March now.
I don't even remember what a 2017 is.
Yeah.
Let's be real, 2017 was underwhelming.
I disagree. Okay.
there was some good anime in 2017, but nothing that I would wake up out of bed to watch.
I fucking would.
I would. Yeah, same.
Well,
you need to watch better anime, Kyle.
When you've seen enough anime as I have.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Shut up, old
so
man.
Today I thought we could basically bullshit around because we have been needing a bullshit around episode. So we're going to talk about the anime that Ackee didn't get to talk about last season or last year. Some of those. As well as we're going to do another recap of this season of our impressions because there were a few anime that had not aired yet when we made our first impressions. So, without further ado, we're going to start off with Ackee talking to us about Garo, Vanishing Line.
Bam.
Yeah. All right.
Take it away.
All right. So I don't really I can't express in words really what this show is.
Well, first, let me ask you, what does this have to do with the original Garo anime? Is this a sequel?
I do not know. I have not watched the original Garo, but I can tell you right away that you don't need to. It is pretty good as it is. And
yeah, because I saw a lot of things. I saw a lot of people talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to talk about this last season because it is a great counterweight to Fate Apocrypha, which is a very action-heavy show, but it drops so much in those action scenes. While Garo, it looks beautiful all the way through, and I think the story is pretty damn interesting. It's something to do with the monsters living in our everyday life, and they are feeding off of humanity. And so we have these Akumai knights that are protecting humanity. And
do they still turn into
dragons?
Lion Power Rangers?
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Well, at least Sword does, the big buff guy that loves steak and boobs.
Well, I'm not sure you knew, but Garo is adapted from a line of tokusatsu TV shows
I didn't
and movies.
know that, actually.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, live action. Yeah, there's a bunch of live action Garos out there.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
They're being quite.
It's kind of like Kamen Rider, but with lions.
Oh no, I just realized this is the anime version of the live action adaptation of Tiger Mask, but back in an anime.
No, but they have superpowers.
Yeah,
that was an interesting comparison.
And monsters, actual monsters.
Kind of, yes. The live action Tiger Mask is weird as shit. Let's leave it at that.
So is this the only Garo you've seen?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I would definitely keep
I remember
watching
seeing
more.
the movies seem to be pretty well received.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of your head, do you guys remember what studio it was that did this?
Oh no, but it's probably easy to check it up.
I can't remember.
Garo Vanishing Line.
I want to
was
say
done
Mappa,
by...
but
yeah, it is
I'm
Mappa.
not sure.
Yeah,
I think all of them
It's
do
Mappa.
Mappa, actually.
Yeah, it is Mappa.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, if you want an action show, this is absolutely one of the best ones for 2017, if you ask me.
Yeah, I might watch the movies, actually. If you can watch them on their own. I need to find out.
Alright.
You're talking about the recap.
I don't know.
Oh, wait. Because I know there is a Vanishing Line recap that's just 24 minutes.
No, I don't think it was that. I think it's like an actual movie.
Okay.
Like live action.
I don't think they've done a movie for Vanishing Line yet.
No,
Yeah, that would be
it's
weird.
a
It's
different
not finished.
kind of garo.
Okay.
The
It's
last
like-
one they did, I think.
2 or 3 episodes to go, and then it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get hype.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. So next up, if you don't have anything else to say about the other garos,
No.
then it's inuyashiki. One of the. Well, I think it's weird that nobody else in here saw it because it was fucking hyped.
I'll say I didn't watch it
Yeah.
for reasons I was lazy, as well as like I had read quite a bit of the manga.
Mhm.
The manga,
yeah.
the manga is written by the same author that did Gantz, which received an anime adaptation many years ago, which did no justice to the manga, only because I think at the time the manga was not very far.
Oh,
So
right.
in terms of plot given, the anime
Just
barely
different.
covered the prologue.
So it's sort of like Full Metal Alchemist, where they just made stuff up as they went and guessed.
Well, the anime just cuts off like
Oh.
after one of the major fights, and then that's basically it. Whereas like
that's weird.
the manga, the anime covered so little of what the manga had to offer. It didn't even start to show you what was the actual plot.
That's.
But I mean, the anime is still good. It's pretty brutal in a lot of parts. I think the author had like a fetish for cutting people in half and cutting people in different lengthwise measurements and showing cross sections.
It's an
Very
interesting
cool.
fetish.
Yeah. So it's been a few years since I've read inuyashiki, but like the basic plot was that there's an old man who lives his life out. You know, it's kind of depressing to watch because, you know, his family doesn't care for him really. Society doesn't care for him really. And so he's just works as hard as he can to provide for his family with no thanks. And basically, UFO crashes and kills him while he's on a walk through the park. And the aliens basically say, "Oh shit, we killed a person.
Oops.
Let's just rebuild him and then leave." But they're like, "Oh shit, we only have a combat model to rebuild him with." And so this old man gets rebuilt into an old man, but now he's like a combat cyborg.
That's pretty funny.
Holy fuck.
But
so is a high school kid.
yeah, there's like
That
it
is-
shows you later that there was another person that was rebuilt as a combat cyborg, which is an uppity little punk.
An angsty little
High
kid
schooler.
that wasn't liked enough for his liking, so he decided to start killing people to show them that you
That
should
he was
respect
cool
me.
in reality.
Yeah,
So the old man begins his rampage as a superhero.
Okay.
and the high school kids begins his as a supervillain.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a pretty fun concept.
I thought it
Because
was
this old man, like, he's just coming to grips with all his powers slowly. Like, he first learns he's like super power. He first learns he has like super strength, but then like he can transform many parts of his bodies into weapons, like such as blades,
Oh shit, yeah.
blasters, as well as he has like rocket jetpacks.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic show about like what it means to be human and the ideals of a hero and the sacrifices you make, sort of
Mhm.
Fate, Unlimited Blade Works ish, but it was very, very cool to see a guy that was like unliked by his family. He had barely anything to live for, and then he finds a purpose in life and strives towards it, and combat someone who is the antagonist of all his beliefs. It was...
I mean, the antithesis.
Oh, yeah, antithesis, yes. It was... I was blown away.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'll be honest.
The ending was completely fantastic.
Okay. I actually thought it looked kind of stupid. That's one of the reasons I didn't watch it. But
Ditto.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you are, because it was...
I just kept seeing
super enjoyable.
screenshots of like weird gore, weird situations, and posters of Ghent. Just like everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, the main character was a bit weird at times, and I'm sure that there could be a few like webms pulled off it that makes it look really stupid, but yeah, overall it was definitely a worthwhile experience,
Okay.
and I would recommend it
That's cool.
warmly.
Did you say warmly?
Yeah. Is that not a
Next
word you
up.
use in that context?
Probably not. Probably
Maybe.
not, to be perfectly honest.
Did Gantz make you feel warm, or
I've never watched it.
Gantz made me...
no Gantz, the other
reading
one?
it.
Inuyashiki.
Oh.
Yeah, the end at least. The end was
Okay.
good. All right, well,
Yeah, I think maybe not in
Yeah,
that context.
Gantz is like one of those shows in manga where like, it makes it very clear that they like to build characters up for the purpose of killing them off.
Alright.
Like
Oh.
very, very obvious. Like, I mean, mute yourselves for spoilers, but like they kill off the main heroine like pretty soon after developing her into a good heroine
Dang.
by cutting her in half.
You can unmute
yeah.
yourselves there.
Yeah.
You're
Up
welcome.
next, Ackee wanted to talk about shoukoku no altair,
yes.
the bird killer.
Well, not bird killer. He didn't kill any birds. But he...
No, it's a bird that's a killer.
oh, yeah, sure.
Murder bird.
It's a
Wait.
man who commands the birds.
The only
Yeah.
thing I want to know about this show was, is it like Arslan Senki? I don't know if you watched that.
No,
I know
I
Ackee
didn't.
watched it.
No, I didn't, I think.
What?
I
No,
thought you
Pretty sure
did,
you
but
watched it.
I don't think I've
What is
done
this?
it.
Let me check.
It doesn't...
that was like a 2-core
Ring a bell.
from
No, like Arslan
2016.
Senki, the one where like the boy prince has to take his nation back to power.
Oh,
Yeah,
is this
Is this-
the
is
one
this
with
like that?
like the silver-haired protagonist, who's
Well,
a
it
young
hasn't-
prince.
really reached
Yeah,
that
because I
point
remember
yet.
you talking about like, oh, I really like the political intrigue of this anime.
It's the same character designer as FMA.
Yeah,
Alright, I need to look up Arslan Senki then, because
Okay.
I don't...
I feel like you're like the only one that watched it out of all of us.
That was a while
If-
ago.
No,
Yeah.
I
like
have
here,
not
I'll link.
watched
I'll,
Arslan Senki.
I will link it to you right now.
I mean, I have it up. I have not watched this show.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I talked a little bit about Shoukoku no Altair, but by then it was only halfway, and from that point I think it really developed. And yeah,
Well,
it
I
went
would
from
hope so.
him being an... how do I put it? A kid with ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
He really
Killer
wanted
birds.
to... he really wanted to like make a difference and improve lives for many. And when the big bad empire attacked, he was kind of forced into war, which he did not enjoy. So he tried to figure out ways to fight the battles with as little casualties
Just
as
six
possible.
death eagles on them.
There
Holy
is no
cliche
death
Batman.
eagles. Can you please stop?
Oh, no
So-
thanks.
Yeah, at one point I went from, yeah, this is pretty cool, to, okay, yeah, fuck yes, this show is definitely getting a nomination from me in Anime of the Year. It is when his kind of like tutor is sent into battle, or he nominates himself to prepare for this big battle with the Empire that would decide a lot in this whole tug of war. And he ends up dying. And yeah, that's not really something special. But what I think this show did especially well is that they actually talked about how he was an important figure in the last war, like 30 years ago or whatever it was, and how he would be a symbol of hope in the future after this war, and he had a role to fill that nobody really can fill in the future. And now the people that have put this hope into that big, great general from the last war with a ton of experience, he is missing. So what do we do now? Where do we go from here? And I thought it was really, really cool. And I've never seen people explore post the death of a character as well as they did here.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I've seen some other things. I can't think off the top of my head, but things that have done that really well. Like the death of a character being a driving force for the rest.
Yeah, and even then it was,
I think that's fun.
It incorporated so much of like a military anime that I was super excited for this show, because even in the small skirmishes, they zoomed out to focus on the war as a whole and how this power struggle would go either way, what happens, what choices they have, and what they have to sacrifice in order to gain what, and if it's worth it, and how they can compensate for those losses in the future. And even how different cultures have different proficiencies, and sure, the Empire took over sort of like the Mediterranean area of this map, but the mercenaries that have been at sea their entire lives with a fraction of a force and with knowledge of like naval warfare, they completely wiped the Empire and secured trade routes that the Empire could not do. And it was fantastic to see that just not, well, we are the big bad guys, we have a lot more force, therefore we will win. But that people are good at different things.
Yeah.
So
I think what was the one, I think it's 2016. Kyle liked it because he made like jokes about people's moms or something.
What? What show?
I know the one you're talking about. Is that Madhouse Ellen adaptation?
Because that also had like different proficiencies for different kinds of people.
Wait, which anime is it? Even I can't remember.
Fuck, what's it called?
Moms.
Yeah, the dude was like a MILF hunter.
Yeah,
remember that anime?
That's the phrase that he said. I didn't want to use it.
Wait.
What's it
what
called?
did that have to do with anyone's proficiencies?
No, it's just that show did that well.
Wait, I know the show you're talking about.
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah. Wait,
what was it called?
It's right on the tip of my head. Where the guy is like a real go-getter for the women.
Alder Ramen. What's his name?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
That was a fun anime because it had a few unexpected parts to it.
Yeah, I did like that actually. That was good.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's about it for Shoukoku no Altair. And
cool.
The last anime that I didn't really get a chance to talk about in the fall season is Itsu datte bokura no koi wa 10 centimeters datta. And
that's a movie, right?
Anyone else watched?
Yeah, it's a film. Wait, is it?
No, it's a 6-episode normal length.
Oh.
And this may possibly be the best love story I've ever seen in anime.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I was a bit curious if it was only 6 episodes, what they could do with it, but I think it was perfectly paced. It's about a kid that wants to be a film director and a girl that wants to be a painter, and it just captures high school life pretty well.
Thank you.
They both have their little circle of friends and their hobbies and their goals, their clubs, and they just go their different ways and do their own thing, and then they meet up and they are themselves. it felt very genuine. And they both have their doubts, their struggles, and in the end, mwah. What
That's
a show.
good. The reason I avoided this is because the story is by Honeyworks, who are either a doujin circle or a music group or something.
How do you pronounce this studio? Is it Les Douce or Les Duce?
I don't know.
Or Les Douche?
but there was a film they did last year, which I think I stopped watching about 12 minutes in.
Oh, is it really that bad?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah! I think I know what you're talking about.
I think we watched it together.
Yeah. I think you and I both dropped it around the same time.
I think I would have dropped it sooner if Kyle wasn't there to like... I think we were being considerate of each other in case the other wanted to keep watching.
I think we were like testing the waters with how memey we could get.
Yeah.
Actually, I
think the reason I didn't like it was just because like it felt really unoriginal.
Yeah, it did. It was just very bland. But
you mean
that's
this
fine.
show?
Well, it looks like
no, not this show.
Datte.
All right.
It was by the same creators to an extent.
Yeah,
I don't know what the extent is.
There are 2 movies, and apparently their relation to this is that they are all in the same timeline, but different couples.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, I've always liked you is what it's called.
Huh.
So yeah, I'm glad to hear that this one is different.
Yeah, it's absolutely worthwhile. I really think that you should, or you would enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try get to it.
You should.
There's so much good anime, and I just don't watch it, apparently.
Zuto mai kara suki deshita.
Yeah, that's the one.
Alright.
It's listed under related anime.
Because, what was that other show? Just Because. I think that this was sort of like Just Because, but it focused more on, I wouldn't say what's important, but just focused a bit more on a smaller cast, with more like love in there. Sort of, we are friends, but we are not sure where we are with each other.
Where we stand, yeah.
Komiya did nothing wrong, by the way.
Well, yeah, obviously. What would she have done wrong?
Existing.
Jesus. But, yeah, when you were talking about this, and you were saying about how it portrays, like, a normal life really well. That made me think of Just Because as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the characters of each the movie and the anime, and there are same characters in them.
Yeah, that makes sense. They were originally music videos.
Huh. That's interesting because I don't think there was any music in the show. Like any focus on music or a music club or anything.
Well, the thing is, the music videos were probably similar to these stories, but much more condensed.
I'll say Zutomai Kara was an adaptation of like a music and animation series.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more just like they took the same characters and made a movie out of it.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like, oh shit, what was it called? That music video that everyone lost their shit over.
Me.
No,
he's talking about
Shelter.
Oh, Shelter,
but less depressing and more lovey-lovey.
Shelter was just like a pure music video.
Shelter's just a single piece.
And these were
whereas like what we're talking about is more just like it's kind of like an AMV.
All right,
in a way.
They're just stories in music form. And these are
things that
anime
do
form.
Little things that happen.
Very descriptive.
Yeah, all right. I want to go off the script here. I don't think I've talked about this in any other episode, but I want to give a boo out to Fukumene Noise.
Boo.
Yeah,
Which one was
boo,
that?
indeed.
I remember the name.
It was.
Fukumen.
I don't think I started this actually.
Yeah,
what was wrong with it exactly? Is this like one of those times where you just answer everything, or what?
No, so it's a
Fukumen
music
noise.
show with a MC lead singer that cannot sing.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Okay, so how do you do that? Their answer was like, oh no, she sings really passionately, really wildly, and she's like a canary in a cage, and she wants to like release herself. Okay, yeah, sure, I get it.
It's the same thing
That's
with like...
that's the only song they ever sung the entire show over and over and over and over again.
Oh, this is from Spring.
Christ.
Hey man, sometimes you're on a budget.
Yo, you're always
Yeah.
on a budget in anime.
Sometimes
You're
you
on
should
a budget when you write the story.
Yeah, sometimes you should just take the budget and realize that, yeah, we should do something else. This is not working out.
It's a bit too late by
it
that
was-
point.
Oof, yeah. Oh, it's a bad memory that's just etched in me now.
Oh, wait, why did you bring that up?
Because we're talking about, like, music and shows. And
Okay.
it just popped into my head and I just wanted to give a boo out.
Okay, sure.
Oh. Alright, well,
Uh-huh.
from bad to stellar.
Really?
Tiger Mask Double.
Masuku. Yeah, me and Kyle watched this all the way through.
Yeah, it was
Is there...
it was a pretty hype anime to
Yeah.
watch. Only because when you watch it, you either invest yourself or you don't.
And
If you don't get invested, it's just a pretty mediocre series. But if you get invested, it's a pretty cool battle
pretty
anime.
cool. It is fucking cool. Oh, goddamn.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. It all starts off with these two kids training in the wrestling dojo. And the leader of this wrestling dojo gets, he gets fouled out so bad that he can't fight anymore. He gets like, what's it called? He gets put in a wheelchair. And these two guys walk their separate paths. But one of them joins the bad guy to like fight them from within. And then this good kid gets trained by an ex-Tiger Den thing. And then in the end, they kind of like... How did this even happen, Kyle?
Well,
I think-
see, Tiger Mask W, it's kind of like a Rocky sort of anime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's just about a guy who rises up through the professional wrestling ranks.
Yeah, I remember us being so hyped the few episodes leading up to them joining forces. Because we could both feel it in the air that it was coming. And it was a struggle
Did you?
to contain yourself. I did. I was fucking hyped.
A lewd.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, and I will carry this memory with me for a lifetime.
You've
Because
certainly
it-
carried it the last year and a half.
Oh
yeah, I
yeah,
was about to say there's been like 38 weeks of listening to Tiger Mask W hype secondhand.
Oh yeah.
So what is it, like fucking Luchador's anime version or what?
It's just like it's your typical villain of the week kind of format, but the fight scenes are pretty well done.
Yeah,
As is the character development.
Mhm.
It's kind of like one of those series where like you just hype yourself up because you like the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's not always clear cut who wins. It's not like it's not like the main character always wins. So each fight
Actually
is
has
always,
some weight.
it has some tension to it because you don't know. Because like, a good portion of the first part of the series is just MC wrecking shit. just wrecking people,
Mm-hmm.
and then like boom, he gets fucking shot out of the sky real fast.
And then it's basically about him trying to reinvent himself and improve and dealing with, well, a lot of things surrounding wrestling, like PR and...
Although the filler episodes were fucking crappy.
Yeah, they were. That's the
like
reason
the
I gave
Sweets
this...
episode was...
Yeah, that's the reason I gave this a 9 instead of a 10. That there are a bunch of filler episodes with characters that I don't really understand why they are there. There was a...
Well, it's like episodes that don't have anything to do with the plot, and like the plot they give you in the filler episode is just really boring. Like the one that stood out to me the most was
the cupcake.
The fucking Sweets episode.
Yeah, it was...
Like literally these guys go around looking for sweets because this guy likes sweets a lot. But there's another group of wrestlers that are evil, and they have been stealing all.
Dude, this sounds good to me.
They've been stealing all the sweets from all the shops.
Yeah, that sounds like the main struggle in my life.
They are like following
I'm gonna eat this cupcake in front of you.
They are like following his food blog, and so they are going to every single favorite place that he has put down there.
Oh yeah. These evil wrestlers follow this other wrestler's food blog and have been going to each of the places he wants to go to eat.
See, this sounds like a good
rude.
episode, honestly.
They lose the fight between them because they ate so many sweets and got sick.
He hypes himself up before each fight by going to one of his places and like eating sweet and getting hyped up. And when he couldn't do that, and he went to place after place after place, he was like so beat down and so depressed. He just didn't want to carry on anymore. And so someone else was like, okay, I have an idea. So before the fight, they like threw out an announcement that, so the winner of this fight will receive a special award. One of these cupcakes. And he was like, oh! And then he wrecks shit. It was so bad.
See, the thing is, you're saying it's bad, but you also sound like you're having fun talking about it.
I mean, in hindsight, yes, it was pretty fun, but watching through it, you were not understanding why this was a part of the show.
I mean, hindsight is 2020. Don't forget.
Okay. Hindsight is like my yoiga out of 10.
There was also the Mexican cactus wrestler.
Oh shit! That's scary.
So he was basically a giant idiot, but his mother was the head of a
cactus.
A PR.
His mother was like the head of the Mexican Fighting Association.
Yeah, something like that. And so they.
But like he's literally retarded.
Yeah, it's retarded. Doesn't even begin to cover it.
I mean, like to the point he just talks like a caveman, kind of retarded.
Yeah. Oof.
No.
And it includes things like him getting a cactus in his ass, and like. Oh, ha ha ha, it's so funny. Like, no. The filler episodes were really weak for Tiger Mask. That's the reason I gave it a 9 instead of a 10. Because otherwise it was definitely a 10 for me. Alright, well, I guess we're done with 2017, unless someone has a special thing to mention that nobody else watched.
We didn't really talk about Owari. We didn't talk about Owari Monogatari 2 at all, really, last season, because when we did it over the season...
Yeah, you're the only one who's seen it.
No.
Ackee seen it as well.
Oh, yeah.
You keep forgetting that I saw it as well. How do you not include me in anything that was watched?
Yeah.
Really?
Because, I mean, you just don't watch anything, you know? We all just watch so much more than you.
But I wanted to ask you about the format, Ackee. Like, what did you think of the way that they did the episodes versus how they did it in the first season?
What do you mean specifically?
Like, you know how it was released, right? Like they just released like 3 40-minute episodes, I think, something like that, rather than following the usual like standard 20, 22 minutes, whatever.
I mean, that probably wasn't a choice.
Yeah, I probably would have preferred like single 20-minute episodes and more of them. But,
oh really? I kind of like the longer episode format. Although my understanding is that it didn't air like that on TV. That could be.
Well, I a show like this, I like to binge anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me, but I feel like it would be easier to deal with if you're not a giant weeb and just dedicate most of your life to watching shows. So that's why I mostly prefer 20-minute episodes, because they're much easier to just bite off one at a time, instead of saying, okay, I need to dedicate 40 minutes to this. Do I have the time?
Okay. Yep, that's pretty much it for the anime Ackee wanted to talk about. So
yeah, he's not allowed any for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he met the quota.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
So now I would like to go back to do another little impressions bit on this season, winter 2017.
Yeah.
So, because there were a few anime that had not started airing yet when we were forced to do the episode, so I want to go over the anime that are now, because right now we're about 8 weeks into the new season. So, we're pretty much way past the halfway point.
I should watch episode 2.
Yeah.
You haven't started on episode 2.
There's a few.
Yeah, there's some.
Well, we'll go over the ones that were not airing first, which is Shokugeki no Emiya and Fate Extra Last Encore. So starting off with Last Encore, who has played Fate Extra?
I have.
Nah.
Okay. So as someone who has played Fate Extra, I know Last Encore isn't a direct adaptation, but what do you think about it compared to the game?
I think it's much more interesting, because the game was very centered in the school, and I think it would have been really, really boring to have the entire show in the school.
Well, there's no way they could have done it, because
there's no way.
You spend 90% of your time walking through basically mazes.
Yeah, I mean, that would probably not have been a big part of the show. It would have been super boring having Nero just wad through a horde of enemies like it's what's called Dynasty Warriors, and then in the end just collecting clues about the enemy servant.
I also want to say I really like the story for Fate Extra is pretty good. The game, but the fighting is one of the worst grinding games I've played in recent times.
Yeah, it's boring.
Because the way the battles work out, it's basically rock, paper, scissors, where you have to grind enemies to figure out their pattern. Like each enemy has like a pattern that they use.
Well, not one pattern. They have a rotation of like
each enemy
4
has
or
a
5.
different pattern. So, like, if you're thinking about playing Fate Extra, look up a guide on the patterns. It will save you a lot of headaches.
And
it's because
even then,
a lot
only
of
after you've grind your head against them a few times to see, okay, this is a break in the 5th slot. Which combos have a break in the 5th slot.
Because the same enemy might have more than one pattern to use. Because you have 3 different types of attacks, and they're basically rock, paper, scissors. And each enemy has their pattern that they use. And even if you know the pattern, it becomes so grindy. Because you'll get to a point where like, oh wow, it appears I did not grind for 6 hours, and now I'm wholly underprepared for this battle that I just got wiped in.
Yeah, that sounds like zero fun.
Yeah, and then you not only need to go back 1 save, but maybe 2 saves and go through like 2 or 3 days, because you need to grind up as much as you can on that day until you run out of resources. Then you need to finish up that day, go to the next day, continue to do that, because you can't save in a dungeon and just keep
not
going.
To mention, like, playing as Nero, like, choosing Nero is the best choice you can do in your first play, because it actually gets harder if you choose other servants.
Yeah.
A lot harder.
I can't even.
I think especially if you chose like caster.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the grind you would have to go through to have like a safety net.
Yeah.
If you choose someone harder, it's just.
Well, as for the anime,
yeah,
I'm still kind of halfway on the boat, just because it's of how different it is compared to the game.
Still trying to accept it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
because I love seeing Nero. Like she's such an entertaining personality.
Yeah, she has character.
Plus,
it's really fun.
Plus, her voice actress just fits her so perfectly.
Yeah. Umu.
Other than that, I don't have much to say about it. They basically took Fate Extra, just the bare concepts, and rewrote everything.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, I'm sad that the best Fate girl is didn't
Drake
get.
Still sucks.
Fuck you. She didn't get nearly the amount she deserved. She was really cool in
the game made me hate her, and like the anime made me hate her more.
Why?
Because she's like a man. She's literally a man that looks like a woman.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't like that.
She's a strong-willed woman.
No,
have you gotten
strong
to
have you gotten to Satsuki is a strong woman character, but Drake is
seems fine in Grand
a guy
Order.
in sheep's but that's Grand Order.
I mean, Grand Order is bad, but
have you gotten to Okeanos yet in Grand Order?
Me?
No, Kyle.
Oh,
dude, I haven't started it up again after that.
Oh,
good job.
Like, I cannot convince myself to like open it up again, even though, like, I finally got Martha.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes way too much time to actually do anything.
Yeah, story's good though.
I find that hard to believe. I will trust you, to an extent.
Well, I've only gone through the story up to a very minor point. Then there are those that have gone way over the deep end, and they are saying it gets really fucking cool.
What did you think of the Grand Order anime story?
I
found it very, very
it was an advertisement.
Yeah, it really was.
It was pretty much just an advertisement for the game.
Yeah.
It didn't really have anything worthwhile in it. It was just, hey, what if we take the first chapter and follow it on the dot and make an anime of it? Sure. And that's what they did. It's not interesting at all if you've played the game and read the story.
Or if you haven't.
Or if you haven't, yeah, it's not interesting anyways.
Yep, that's pretty much it about Fate Extra.
Cool.
But what is interesting about Fate, almost, Shokugeki no Emiya, or its true name, which is...
Yeah, Shokugeki no Emiya, which is basically cooking fluff with Fate characters.
It's a
which is
real name.
A much better... Well, I'm enjoying it more than a lot of Fate anime I've seen in recent years.
To me, like...
Right, I just want to throw out that its real name is emiya-san chi no kyou no gohan, so that people don't get confused and start Googling Shokugeki no Emiya.
I'm sure it'll come up. Actually, that's what I searched, and it did come up.
Alright, well, it's Hoffland.
It's basically a slice of life anime about Shiro cooking things.
Yeah.
With various Fate character cameos. And it's super soft.
I love the art style.
The art style is amazing.
Like you just said, it's soft.
It's so soft and fluffy.
Character designs are...
It gives me a warm feeling inside, which I like.
I'm not as impressed by this show. It's...
Because nobody's fucking stabbing each other.
Yeah.
Well...
Because there isn't 15-minute long exposition that's... like useless.
Yes. That must be it. Yeah, there were no.
But wait, there's no characters that like would piss you off in this show.
No, I know. It's just too vanilla. Nothing happens. It's just them cruising through the show.
Normally, isn't Fate vanilla normally?
Nah, it's pretty
It's
exciting.
like the reason people like Hollow Ataraxia is because it's just fluff mostly.
I love Hollow Ataraxia, but this
like
was
you get to see your favorite fake characters just interacting normally.
Yeah.
As if they were real
I mean,
characters.
to be fair, like Hollow Ataraxia has a pretty interesting story.
Yeah. I'm a story geek.
It's
But
very
like
split.
the meat of Hollow Ataraxia is the slice of life stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Whereas like the main plot only takes up maybe a tenth of your time.
I think that the difference between Hollow Ataraxia and this is that Hollow Ataraxia like rounds out the characters. It adds a little bit, like Lancer going fishing and just being a down-to-earth guy trying to just do what he enjoys.
This is the cooking version of Hollow Ataraxia.
Yeah, and it doesn't give anything more. It's just, yeah, what does Saber do? She sits there and talks about food, and she likes food, so she sits there and talks about food. It's very predictable. There's
Ain't
nothing
wrong with that.
I think there is, because, well, not anything wrong per se, but
So wait, what do you want to see Saber doing?
Being
I don't know, tap
cut in
dancing?
half.
Tap dancing?
No,
Yeah.
I
really
want
don't.
something more.
I really wouldn't liken this to Hollow Ataraxia, honestly. Like
No.
this is like Hollow Ataraxia, like actually has like pretty detailed plot and like it's definitely a story on its own. I'd say like well over more than 1/10 of that VM
Really?
is fluff.
I only got
have you read
I
it?
only got halfway through, and I would say it like maybe even less than a tenth at that point.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd say like I'd say it's probably closer to 50-50.
Really?
I think even the fluff, most of the fluff, adds to their character.
I mean, it depends on how much. It depends on how much. Like, if you want 100% the game, like most of your hours will be spent not doing anything.
Yeah,
with,
going
like,
through fluff. Yeah, that's what
towards
I
the
mean.
plot.
But if you just play the main game, like there is.
I mean, yeah, like that's what I meant. Like the meat of the game is all of the fluff.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you were to play just through the story, it'd be really short.
I don't know
And
about
not
that.
very interesting.
Like, you could probably get through the story of Hollow Ataraxia in 2 or 3 hours.
Maybe, probably.
No, I would say that's pushing because, like, how many hours did it take you to finish Hollow Ataraxia? Like, 100% took me about 40 hours or something like that.
Yeah, it took me about 50.
And, like, I read
Okay.
fast. Like, I mashed that space bar, dude. It took me, like, 40 hours to 100% it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think most of the grind through the story is getting the right cue points. And I need to watch this scene and this scene and this scene to unlock the next story bit.
yeah, walkthrough definitely helps and get familiar
But,
with your control key.
To get back to Shokugeki no Emiya,
Mhm.
I think one of the things I like about the series is it's very sight and soundish, where
Yeah.
they use like the sounds of cooking and the music to really put you in the atmosphere.
There's that.
And that's one of the things I like the most about
I've
it.
actually seen some really good animation as well of like really detailed animation of the cooking process,
Cooking,
like
Right.
chopping leeks and whatever.
because there's a lot of parts where it actually carries you through the process
Yeah.
Yeah.
of how Shiro cooks.
It was interesting because I would on one hand like more of it to be focused on the cooking and it would be something that you could make yourselves at home, but I still didn't feel like it didn't put me into the mood. Like something like Shokugeki no Soma, it really makes you, oh god damn, that food looks so good and I want it so bad. While this was just, yes, I am making dinner. First, I am taking the fish.
The fish.
And then I fillet the fish. And then I slice some potatoes. I put the potatoes in the stew. It was boring. For me, at least.
I mean, yeah. It's kind of
Different strokes for different folks.
It's kind of what you'd expect, right? It's just fate slice of life cooking. I mean, there's only so
Yeah.
much that they can do with it, realistically.
Yeah, But I felt
I'm not.
this
I'm
balance
not a big slice
very
of life
off.
guy either. So like, I hear you, man.
Yeah, I felt the balance very off between having a focus on the food and making the food part interesting.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll think about that when I do.
Yeah. I mean, I like cooking, so I thought I would be all game for this.
Yeah, this feels like my kind of fate.
Alright. I don't have anything else to say about Shokugeki no Emiya.
Okay.
So, let's get back to this season of anime
No.
as a whole.
Wow.
I know where this is gonna end up.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
we're gonna talk about Gakuen
It's-
babysitters again? Ugh.
Oh no.
Oh,
Here
I
we
actually
go.
could add something. But,
No.
If it's quick, I'll...
Going down the list, I want to start off with Citrus.
Okay.
What do you guys think so far? I think that the plot of this anime is starting to unfold.
Wait, what? How many episodes have you watched, Kyle?
I'm an episode behind, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so then you've
it's-
reached the physical personification of shitter.
What?
Well, see, to me, this is a lighter version of Kuzu no Honkai.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
The
of.
plot is a lot better than Kuzu no Honkai.
I think
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
pretty different.
I did not want this to become Kusu no Honkai, but it's starting to become it, and I am
The-
not a fan.
The character motivations in the show are certainly more grounded than Kuzuno. Like, Kuzuno Honkai had the issue, like, where shit just didn't make sense. It's like,
Really?
why?
Well,
I,
see,
I just thought it was
I
very
think
dramatic.
both.
I don't know.
I think the meat of Kuzu no Honkai's plot is just how can we get into a sex situation
No,
the
no.
fastest?
It's exploring.
I would actually agree
that's
with that.
the
Like,
mindset
it was
of it.
very, like...
Because the way the plot moves is so ridiculously unbelievable.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like I think that kind of works to its favor.
'Cause
It's looking
Yeah,
at these
'cause,
kind of
like,
damaged
I
mindsets.
like the sex scenes, and it moved the plot towards sex really quick. I mean, like, plot aside, the reason people watched Kuzu no Honkai...
Yeah, some people,
I'm not
sure.
gonna blanket statement,
good.
but the reason people really talked about Kuzu no Honkai was the sex scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some people,
That's
Like-
what got people talking about it, at least, and watching it in the first place, in a large case.
Because, like, imagine if there were no sex scenes in Kuzu no Honkai.
be fine.
If everything was just implied.
The thing is, like, a lot of the detail comes out in those scenes. That's where you actually...
Yeah, because
That's
that's
an
where they
important
want to
part
put
of
the
the story.
detail.
Actually, about
I mean-
Citrus, I find it funny that they are allowed to show girls kissing each other, while in Yuri on Ice, it was a big thing, this whole, oh yeah, they definitely kissed, but they didn't show it because they're not allowed to.
What? No, that's
Well,
not
I think
why.
for Yuri on Ice, like, if they were to go that far, they would lose a lot of their watching base.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I feel
'cause,
like
like,
they lost
imagine,
more
like,
by
Yuri on
shicking
Ice
it down.
is way more all ages than fucking Citrus,
Yeah,
no doubt.
I think they wanted to keep it more all ages
Yeah.
because
I'm not sure.
it would become a lot more niche if it just started showing yaoi stuff.
I mean, it's not
Yeah.
yaoi though. It just happens to be gay. It's not.
well, that's what I'm saying.
It's just the two
Like,
people happen
if they were
to be.
show if they were to show more, physical romance between the two main characters, then
It wouldn't
you would-
even be more. It would just be showing what they mean, and not be so Humpty Dumpty
talking
about
about-
it
we're
and
talking about, like, if-
backing down.
if Yuri on Ice was more like Kuzu no Honkai,
No,
Yeah,
we
they
are
would
not
never go
talking
that
about
far.
that.
yeah,
Like that's
No.
that's
That's my
making
point.
a completely
like, that's
different
not the
show
kind
though.
of anime Yuri on Ice is.
But that
yeah,
was
yeah,
never
Yuri
so
on
the
that's-
Ice
point
is
that's
I
like
brought
relevant.
up.
definitely in all ages.
That was never the
Yeah.
point I brought up. I just thought it was funny that they weren't allowed to show even a kiss,
No, they
while
would
in
be allowed.
Citrus they are hard making out.
It doesn't fit the theme of the show, so I'm assuming that's why it never occurred in Yuri
What do you
on
mean
Ice,
it
or
doesn't
why they
fit the
yeah,
theme
like,
of the
what
show?
I'm saying is, like, if Kuzu no Honkai basically just barely implied any of the sex.
Yeah, the focus in Yuri on Ice is not on the romance. It doesn't like showing them on screen kissing doesn't fit the theme of the show.
It's how the romance affects them, really.
It was heavily implied at every single point.
It was a big. I would say it was a big part of it.
Like, I don't think it's a leap to call Kuzuno Honkai almost smut.
No, I think that's unfair.
Why are we talking about Kuzuno Honkai?
Well, no, because like we're getting back into Citrus, where we're discussing whether or not the main meat of the show, the reason the show happens, is to push like the Yuri agenda, or give us an actual plot. Which, I mean, comparing it to Kuzuno Honkai, I think Citrus is doing a lot better job at giving a good cohesive story.
I think Kuzuno Honkai does a really good job at legitimately exploring mindsets, including sexuality.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would disagree
I look at
with
Kuzuno Honkai, like it's just unbelievable.
It's dramatized.
What kind of mindsets happen
no,
to these kids
a difference
who are still in, like...
there's a difference between dramatics and like things that are just blatantly unrealistic.
Because like the mental gymnastics that these kids who are supposed to be in high school go through is very almost outlandish. Yeah, it definitely it definitely feels like, I don't know, like the drama, it feels like the drama doesn't derive from like a natural plot, but rather they just write the plot to force drama in mind. Like a lot of the events that occurred, it just, yes and no, because you can have dramas, you can write a plot and then you can have dramatic parts without actually making it an intentional thing and like making that the focus. And then you can have plots where you write it specifically to generate as much drama as possible, which is kind of what I think Kuzuno Honkai was trying to do. And the issue with that is if you just force drama constantly, like at a certain point it becomes unbelievable, right? You kind of lose that suspension of disbelief.
I just think the fact that it was consistent in that way, I think that is what let me actually buy into it as a story.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I gotta go with Kyle on this one.
I just want to say that including a character that just pops out of nowhere and throws out the line that, yeah, I upload masturbation material for money. And, by the way, I'm in middle school.
That was dubious.
Wait, what is this?
No.
Citrus.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That is
I think
disgusting.
They added her character because they wanted to basically throw a wrench into the plot.
Wait, you can do that without being utterly disgusting.
If not, then it would start shifting towards a more fluffy kind of romance.
Well, they basically just needed to generate conflict somehow.
Yeah, you can throw her in, and
that's the way they thought to generate conflict, is by adding pretty much just throwing a wrench into it.
Yeah.
You can add her in without and have her be the vice president, but for Yuzu.
Dude, my girl May basically like alphaing this wrench in the plot.
Styled on.
And I just liked how Alpha May acts when was the main character Yuzu?
Yeah.
Yeah, when she acts like jealous and alpha when Yuzu interacts with the pink-haired girl.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, as for I just want to see some more meat in this story.
Well, literally, or
well, both. If you put it that way. I'm like kind of enjoying Citrus right now.
Yeah,
you know?
I definitely
was enjoying it more than I currently am.
Like
I mean, it's nice to watch when you're waiting for franxx. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is another good aspect of it. I'm I'm hoping that there's some sort of fulfillment towards the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I'm hopeful, but I don't think it's going to go that way. It's pretty much all I have to say about Citrus. Yep. Is anyone actually watching Dagashikashi other than you, Jared?
Dude, I watched one episode.
Yeah.
That was a half.
Yeah, I've watched one episode, but I intend to finish it.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna try and watch the rest, like, see how far I can get into it.
Why would you do that to yourself?
If you like it, sure.
His childhood friends is really cute.
Like, you think, like, you're sitting here and you haven't, like, watched Kizumonogatari, and then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch Dagashikashi season 2.
Dude, just
like,
read the
it's
doujins.
so much easier just to... It's so much easier just to fucking say shit.
God damn.
If it's time.
What?
We're gonna talk about the franxx.
No.
Hey, want to make this episode 69 minutes long?
Don't worry, I don't have too much to say about it other than
it's progressing well.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean it's still really quite entertaining so far.
Yeah. It feels like it's slowed down a bit, or is that just me?
Well, I think it's been going too fast in terms of their itinerary for the plot.
Oh?
So, because this recent episode 8 was the fluffiest we've gotten so far.
Yeah, you're right. It actually, a big portion of it did seem like filler. And honestly, the last one, a large portion of it felt like filler
7
as well.
Was pretty much entirely.
Well, I don't know if I call it filler.
It was a break.
As much as...
Not the whole episode, right? But definitely
showing,
portions of it.
Well, it's showing development, I think.
I don't know about 7.
Because there is... Just like the last episode's beach episode and this episode's, boy versus girl aesthetic, they're throwing so much foreshadowing into these 2 episodes. Like I think it's safe to say it's gonna take a turn the next episode. Like whether towards a really dark outcome to this core of the show. Or like we're gonna get into the meat of the first core next episode. As well as to mention, like, I love these EDs that they keep throwing at me. Yeah,
I liked how they changed up the ED on episode 8 there.
Episode 7
was because I think because they couldn't use the original ED for 7 because they wanted a lighter ED for the beach episode.
Makes sense.
The same with this episode, even though, like, I think they just made a new one because, like, they can't just reuse the beach episode's ED.
Yeah. I noticed they had to shorten it up, too. Like, the ED on this one was only a minute, or rather the credits roll. The actual song itself was still the minute 30, but...
Oh,
right. But I'm very excited to see... I have high expectations still.
Yeah.
Other than that, if I'm kind of
hoping for a setting change, to be honest. Like I want them to like go up to outer space or like go to other plantations or something.
Yeah, I think I found it almost weird how it's like, oh, there's this huge beach right next to this plantation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, like, I also have to make myself realize, these plantations can fucking move around.
Yeah.
But, like, most of what they've given us is just basically...
barren wasteland.
Desert.
Yeah.
I haven't found the world very interesting so far.
Yeah.
That's why I want a setting change. Like, it feels like it's so contained. Like,
so far, like, it's been the characters that have been, like, really pushing the aesthetic of the series.
And like I want them to go into the city in the plantation, like that brief time where they showed it with 02 and Hero on that balcony. Dude, it looks cool. I want them to go in there, but like they just hang out in the fucking house. It's boring.
I'm not gonna force myself to criticize, but some honest criticisms I have is
Is it possible?
the production quality in certain parts
Really?
dips below a threshold that makes it noticeable.
In the first 7 episodes.
Man, I wish I had some screenshots.
Really?
Yeah, throughout all these 8 episodes.
Like when?
It drops below a... I'm talking... It's mostly for me, I notice the art. Like, is kind of wishy-washy in certain stills.
Well, the character...
Like, it's a small... Like, characters in mechs. Like, they're not as crisply drawn as, you know, I've noticed in previous anime from Trigger. Trigger by itself.
The thing is, like, most of the character work is done by A1. Or at A1, rather.
Yeah. Because, like, you can tell when A1 does it versus when, you know...
I mean, there wouldn't be nearly as much detail in the characters if A1 wasn't... If A1 wasn't doing, like, a lot of the show.
I look back at, like, Kill la Kill, when Kill la Kill was airing. And whilst it had that, you know, wayward and crazy take on stills.
It's a very different kind of expression.
It's still very consistent with how it portrays each character in stills.
Okay.
Whereas you can tell it's very noticeable when 02 is drawn by one person as opposed to another.
Okay, so you think it's like
consistency issues?
I mean, a lot of anime now have multiple animation directors, which means that you're going to have inconsistent character designs.
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean. Like, I don't think I won't go as far to say that they're not as good, but I am going to point out, like, how good... I really don't want to point out, like, hey, look at Kill la Kill's first 3 episodes. Action was really well done compared to Darling in the Franxx. You know, I'm still...
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Like, there's been a lot of really good action, but other parts have been a little bit underwhelming.
Because, like, the action is good, but it's not super good.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like they're not putting as big of an emphasis on animating the action scenes as they did, you know, with, like, Kill la Kill. Because, like, episode 3 of Kill la Kill was...
I think it's kind of the setting of the action scenes as well. Like even one is just a big flat area. Right? That's not interesting to watch.
Yeah, see, that's... Fuck, I'm really hoping that we'll see some sort of setting change.
Because, like, if you remember the 3rd episode of Kill la Kill, this is the first time Satsuki is wearing Junketsu.
Okay. I think I know.
And they use... Like, it's just like you said, they use so much extra animation to detail how, you know, how powerful things are happening. Yeah, it's very stylized. Yeah. Rugged. Whereas, like, if you look at Darling in the Franxx, they don't do much, if anything, to show how big these robots are.
Yeah, there's nothing to show scale. And that's another thing. It goes back to the big flat area with nothing in it.
Well, because, like, you could basically take these robots and make them human-sized, and the action would still be the same.
Like, it kind of makes me think of Gurren Lagann, because it was a big, kind of empty world to an extent. Although, but they still had a lot of things to show scale.
See, I really like what they did with the first episode, where Hiro was running across the boardwalk, I love that. And you see the Klaxazor run past him, and then you see this huge lion fucking just bounding past him.
I even made that.
That is good. That gives you a really clear interpretation of how big these robots are. Whereas everything else, it feels like the robots are just, you know, regular girls. Let me try and think.
That said, there have been some really cool parts in the fights as well. Like, I remember when we watched a couple episodes, I mentioned, like, how the camera kind of pauses and then changes and carries on. I can't think how to detail it properly. but
yeah, I know what you mean. Like they do really, they're like a lot of the jump cuts are really well done. It shows
like a really good pose of something that's just about to happen, and then
yeah. Other than that, I really don't have many other criticisms.
Yeah,
I do.
Do you want to do it now?
Go for it, Ackee.
All right, so I only started writing these at episode 5, but even before then, I kind of felt like it was a cool premise, but then it went stale very fast for me. The characters just don't interest me in the slightest, except for 02. And there is this whole thing of like, yeah, these kids are kept in the dark, but why? And they just have this big enigma in front of you, but you just aren't given the reason.
Yeah, I don't think you're.
I mean, we're 8 episodes into a 2-course show.
But you generally want
they should at
as
least
well as
give
think about it
something.
like this.
But there's so much that we are just kept in the dark on without giving, well, at least being given a satisfactory amount of understanding what's going on.
Or mystery.
Well,
like
I think
interesting question.
I think your gripe will be fulfilled pretty soon.
Of my gripes. It still affects these episodes up till now, though.
Because one of the things I noticed is this anime, they've been very good about not just monologuing. Because they have been giving you little bits of info dumps here and there.
Yeah.
Like, they're expanding the plot whilst also covering the plot.
Barely.
It's not like, I know a lot of people are waiting for Dr. Franxx to just get up on stage and monologue to these children.
Everything.
Like what's puberty? What are babies? Why haven't we told you what babies are?
I mean, it's coming soon. Like, I don't know if you guys watched episode 9, but there's big breadcrumbs.
Wait, there's episode 9? I thought it was 8.
Or sorry, 8.
Oh, episode 8. Because like we've seen, Kokoro has the book about making babies.
Yeah, so that's one other of my gripes.
And we saw the photo in the taped off room too.
I think that one of the good things about this whole mystery, they don't know, they're kept in the dark, that is just they don't know, they are completely unaware of like sex and romance and stuff like that. And yeah, sure, I like that because they're seen as tools, as weapons. But then I don't like them in I think it was episode 7, the beach episode, them being like, oh, what's a kiss? What's a kiss?
I didn't find that very fun.
We have no idea. We do not know what anything basic is.
Hey, let me kiss you.
What is this? Yeah, what does a kiss mean? He kissed you? What does a kiss mean? And then, too much. If they want to keep this whole mystery about them not knowing, then they can't go around shoving it down your throat that they are completely unaware of what it is. It was implied during everything before. They didn't need to force that. I had so much. It was
02 that's starting is like 02 knows more than she leads on.
Yeah.
Because like,
but I'm talking about 02.
She's the first one to tell Hiro and show Hiro about what a kiss is.
Yeah, but I'm talking about everyone else.
It's like when I talk to Atlas about it.
I'm talking about everyone else. I'm talking about everyone else.
No one else knows.
Yeah, they don't. And then they go and like force it down like, hey, we have no idea what is going on, viewer. Instead of showing it in a natural way that they have done so far. That is like
imagine like these kids have no clue about like any human biology relating to reproduction.
I know.
They don't know anything about like true love.
And they did it well up until this point where they just went too far.
You thought they hammered it in a bit too hard.
Just shouting out that we do not know instead of implying it as they have done so far. I thought that was one of the good things that they did, and then they fucked it up.
I mean, and I think it was kind of clever to throw it in as a comedy bit rather than just being like, "Hey, what's
I don't think it was a bad idea. I didn't entirely like her.
Me and Atlas talked about it, like, because like a lot of the themes of this show reflect a book I had read long ago called The Giver, where like these kids don't know anything, and like they were basically bred to do nothing but pilot these robots.
Yeah, that was one of my points.
They have no idea. And like it's being implied that they either have short lifespans or that they basically they either have short lifespans or they get euthanized at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Or something else to that effect happens. So they were never taught how, like, what love is, what reproduction is, and now we're slowly pushing towards a really big revelation in one of the next, episode or two where, Kokoro will reveal what she knows.
Yeah, but I think
Mitsuru will reveal what he knows.
But I think it's too little, too late. They've just
you haven't enjoyed the build-up.
Dragged on.
Yeah. Well, I think to counter it, I think we're not even halfway through the show.
Same,
yeah,
and
but you can't pace a show after being too core and then, okay, so we have this to tell. Let's just not say anything and just kind of let them dawdle in it for a bit without doing shit with it.
I'm pretty sure a lot of your criticism would evaporate if you, for example, were not watching the show weekly and you waited till the end of it and then just watched the whole thing.
I don't know about that because
I don't think so.
Like, you could say that all these feelings will disappear in a couple episodes, but those feelings have still been there in the episodes up till there. So they've still affected it.
You can't...
Yeah, but it gets magnified over the fact that you've been waiting 8 weeks.
Yeah, it would, but I think it would still be there.
Essentially what's going on here is you're not getting instant gratification, so it's like...
But Patrick,
still, even if you're watching all in a row, 8 episodes is quite long.
Patrick, here's the thing.
Right
but it depends on what...
It depends on what in each of these episodes that's happened has gratified you, if it has gratified you.
Here's the thing. I do not care about this show. I am sorry, but I will reveal it right now. I don't care.
I can understand
even
that.
average about this show and this whole, oh, no, but you're just waiting for it. No, I fucking don't. Oh, an episode comes out. Oh, I guess I'll watch it.
Each episode has given us
but
over the past 8 weeks.
It's not kept me in, suspense. I want to know. Why haven't they given me sooner? No, they're just
what are you
not
talking
giving
about?
it to you.
You were literally just saying, yeah, exactly. You just contradicted yourself in the same sentence. You said, you're upset because they're not giving you enough exposition and enough explanation.
Yeah,
and then,
but it's not because I'm getting impatient with I just want it more and more and more. No, it's because they are dragging on. It's not that I am just waiting every week, and I cannot contain myself because it's so exciting what is going to happen next. No.
You don't feel compelled to find out what does happen.
It's just a clear difference of expectation and investment.
Yeah. If you have something like Kill la Kill, it's felt like it kept going all the time. With this show, I initially saw it as Kill la Kill in a sort of Gurren Lagann.
I would like to remind that the info dump that explained things in Kill la Kill was at episode 18.
Yeah, but you still had a clear goal. You still felt like it moved along.
You had
something like it's just spinning its wheel.
See, the goal right now, first episode's goal was to show you the world, and then also give you 02, and also the first episode's conflict was Hiro and Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his partner.
Yeah.
And he found a new partner.
And they spent the next couple episodes sort of building up the Hiro 02 relationship.
Yeah, and then the next arc is showing, will Hiro actually survive this next pilot?
Wait. I want you to say which episodes that was that established this whole Hiro 02 relationship. Because it was 5 episodes.
Well, it's established in the first episode when he becomes her darling.
Over how long is it trying to develop that? And what is the end result? How much did they do in how much time?
Well, I mean, just like Kill la Kill, her first and only basic instinct is to find out who killed her father.
Yeah, and it's a clear goal. She's pushing towards it, and you are invested. You follow this.
And then
while
Hiro's motivation is he just wants to pilot a franxx. He doesn't have a partner, and then it shifts from that to, am I going to die piloting this franxx with 02?
Do I care?
Which brings me to my episode 6 complaint. Hiro should have fucking died, but he didn't. and they're going to need a serious explanation. They have not given us a serious explanation.
I mean, they kind of hinted at it with the yellow blood cells thing.
Yeah, they did. But okay, yeah, I lived. Cool.
Like they've been telling you
and
that Hero is a special
boy.
Yeah, but they can't just say, oh, well, he's special, let's move on. They need to give us a reason. What is the reason that he survived? I need him to have some fucking basic drive to figure out why he survived. What happened? What they're gonna, like, why did it happen? But he's
I'm sure he's curious, but it's just not explicit.
Don't care. Like,
because, like, all right,
fuck this show.
I look at it this way.
Jesus. Yeah, we got that.
Yeah.
And there's so much hype for...
Yeah, just...
Why?
Yeah, there's the underlying reason right there.
I mean, that's a big part, yes. But I want to see something good in this show, but
no, Ackee is venomous about it.
Oh, is there
a lot of the reason is just because it's popular.
I don't think that's entirely fair.
No, that is absolutely not true. For like something like ReZero, I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as you or many others did, but I wasn't like toxic about it, and I didn't dislike it. I saw the really good things in it, and yeah, I enjoyed it, but just not as much. For this, I have a really hard time seeing what's so cool about it, other than, oh my god, it's Trigger.
Even though most of it's not.
I mean, it's fine to get frustrated over not understanding why you can't like it like other people.
I mean, I just don't see anything that is so worthwhile with this show. They have so many flaws, and people are just not talking about them or care or just don't see them.
They just don't see them.
And they just focus on the small tidbits from like, okay, so we have 5 episodes.
I don't think it's really fair to say that people don't see the flaws.
They just don't see
just because you like the show doesn't.
It's just difference of taste.
Well,
nobody talks about them.
It's not game breaking for them. Like they can watch the show then they're like, yeah, there's a problem. Like me and Kyle were literally just talking about issues that we have with the show. We still really enjoy the show.
Because like the thing you hate about not being told what's happening, like I've enjoyed the episodes up till now because I know I'm going to find out eventually.
Yeah.
And like what the journey that it's taking to this whatever big info dump that's going to happen.
That's a big part of why I originally didn't like Kill la Kill, is because I was sitting there like the whole time. Like now I realize like you just need to be patient, because if the story is told properly, it'll trickle out and it'll come. Because it'll be exposed at a good time.
Because like whether or not like anyone's
to
into it or not, it's.
I want to
like your criticisms are fair.
See, right, I'm gonna actually bring in Kimono Friends here. So Kimono Friends did a really good job of teasing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always made me interested in the bigger picture, whereas this, I just can't really imagine the bigger picture. I don't feel as compelled to find out what happens because I just know nothing.
Well, you have a different investment.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like that's to my taste.
Yeah, it's just a difference of expectation as well as investment into the series. Because like for me and Patrick, I think we were pretty much 100% invested
for other reasons
after the first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, like, regardless of the reason, like, it's an investment. If you can't, you know, push yourself to emotionally invest in a series, you're not going to like it. Like, that's
I don't think it's about pushing yourself. But if it doesn't,
well, not even pushing yourself. If you don't become emotionally invested into a series at the first episode, the chances of you enjoying any else of the series are critically low.
Like Ackee, that I hated the first episode of and ended up loving because it was actually executed well.
That's not anomaly, though. I would say.
Yeah. I want to bring up the example of Hainu Gensu no Grimgar.
Okay.
We have this mystery of why they are there, how does this world work? And it's given to us like bit, but we still don't know the big picture. And I enjoyed it despite not knowing.
See, I think
much of the reason why, because it was so
I think the thing
enjoyable
is,
in and of itself, and it focused on the characters, and the characters were fucking well balanced and not fucking
The thing about
cardboard.
Grimgar
All of
is
them.
it actually
What?
didn't focus on why they were there. It brought it up to begin with,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, it
ignored it
didn't.
afterwards.
Yeah.
And that worked for Grimgar.
I mean,
But
Yeah,
I really didn't feel like the characters in Grimgar were like super well developed. But I mean,
I think
that's
it's a
probably
balance.
discussion for another time.
Yeah,
I
they are
felt,
very
I felt like they
balanced.
just tick some tropes. I mean,
some
at the
more
end of
than
the day,
others.
it felt like an LN adaptation, which is what it is, right? It really felt like
Okay.
it.
But at the end of the day, you're gonna get what you get out of it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then that's
I actually have
That's
something
peaches.
else here.
okay.
Two things. In episode 5, there's a flashback to something that could have been explained. Or, well, it could have been shown. But it was like, they stood at a parade, and they were like, oh, hey, do you remember what happened yesterday with this whole reason we are here? Oh, yes, that was very cool. And then it flashes to someone giving a super brief, like, oh, yeah, well done. You're gonna go on a parade, and you're gonna be introduced to this thing, and then you're allowed to go into battle for real. Good luck. And then they're back.
well, no. See,
at
the reason
parade.
for the parade was for the kissing.
Yeah,
of the
whatever that
plantations.
was. But it was
It's basically just a ceremony they hold before they the two plantations connect
Diplomacy.
the pipe.
Yeah. And they had a flashback there explaining the reason why they were there instead of having a scene showing that first and then going into the
Well, see,
ceremony.
the start of episode 5 shows them on the outer banks of the plantation. Like this is after
this is the very, very
ceremony.
beginning. They could have
Yeah,
easily.
and then it just flashes back and shows the ceremony for the kissing, and they're talking about it actively on the
I
top
think
of
it's
the
a bit of an
sill.
odd
No, the
timeline to
flashback
do it
is
in,
to something
but
before the
I
ceremony.
found it okay.
The flashback is the reason why they are there. And it jumps for, I don't know, any reason.
Okay, but I
See,
don't,
like,
I
at the
don't really
beginning of-
see what's inherently wrong with that. I mean, that happens in like so many different anime. Like that's like a common thing. You start off like in the thick of it, and then you flash back to what happened before. That's like a common thing in like any sort
This
of
didn't
medium.
really
not
feel
even
like
just like
the
if
thick
it
of
had been-
though, to me. I didn't really have a problem
It was
with
the
it.
very,
though.
very beginning of the episode.
Well, like the start of episode 5, they're looking at the connection between
Yeah.
the plantations.
Yeah. And then they are like,
and then they show
oh, hey,
you
do you
the
remember?
ceremony for the connection of the plantations.
Yeah, instead
and
of
then,
having...
like all the while they're just going back and forth between these two times.
I'm not
yeah,
sure.
why couldn't they just show it chronologically?
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe they thought
It
this
felt
would be
like
more
it was very dumb.
compact time.
why don't you just watch Monogatari chronologically?
I mean, that's
But that's a very, very different show.
I mean, I'm just saying the argument that things should just be chronological
No, I
for
think
the
he
sake
just
of being
means this season,
chronological
this
and
scene.
convenient is not a good one.
This very scene.
we're getting a bit off topic here.
Are
like-
we?
It's becoming just an argument whether this is good or not.
I
Alright,
think-
then I have one more.
okay.
The entire cast,
Okay.
except for 02, Ichio, and Hiro, are all fucking cardboard. And then we have the asshole kid. And he's an asshole to Hiro. And Hiro just becomes a fucking wet blanket. And he's like, let's be friends. Every single time. He's a complete pussy.
No, I mean,
Okay.
I put more blame on
And-
the other guy.
Hiro just sucks it up.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about Hero, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, that's all my complaints. I
Up next.
really hope that it will get its shit together.
So, are you gonna keep watching now?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Okay, up next, if we want to talk about Death March, which
Why would
I don't
we?
care to because I've already shit on it.
Yeah, I don't care for it.
I'm
It's a
enjoying it
terrible
more
anime.
I'm
than
watching
Darling in
it,
the
but
Franxx.
it's just another generic isekai.
Yeah.
Like, I think the thing I dislike the most about it is that it basically infantizes the female cast
Yep.
Yeah.
for the sake of making MC look like a super nice guy.
Yeah.
who takes care of these girls because they can't do
makes him look like a nice guy by not being a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a gross self-insert.
I didn't take sexual advantage of these girls because I'm a good guy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, eh?
It is the, I don't even know how to describe it, the very peak of a mountain that could be called Isekai MCs. This guy is the absolute...
It doesn't even have to be isekai. Like, anime like this, it's just, like, pandering.
Yeah, it's just boring self-insert.
It's mostly in isekai shows that they come to another world and they have these abilities and everyone's like, oh my god, you're so cool, you're so strong, and they're just instantly attracted to them. Like, that usually happens in isekai shows. That's why I took that as an example.
Wait, so why are we talking about Death March? Why are we talking about Death March?
I think you cut out.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Death March?
Why what's Death
March? Why did we bring it up?
Because it's in the list.
'Cause I wanted to say I hated it again.
Are you done?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done. I haven't watched any more of Gakuen Babysitters.
I mean, I wouldn't expect it to.
I've watched up until episode 3, and I don't think I want to watch anymore. Okay. It infuriates me.
Okay.
It is basic fucking shit. You cannot be two people bringing like 6 kids into a zoo, letting them roam free. They don't have any like what's it called? The reflective wets with no phone number.
That pissed them off.
Like, there's absolutely no knowledge of simple childcare in this show, and I cannot watch a show that is supposed to be about that.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, Ackee, how are you liking Kokkoku?
Very much.
Oh, really? It's not too exposition-y, is it? Or is it?
There has been a bit of exposition, but I'm not too bothered by it. It doesn't feel like
the reason I stopped watching it was just because, like...
Episode 2?
There'd be very noticeable, like, let's stop the plot and start explaining stuff.
I mean,
and then keep moving the plot, and then stop the plot.
Yeah, that is absolutely how it is, but I feel it works at least, because this show can't be all action or all, like, just sit and talk. It is a very big mixture, because they don't know what the enemy knows, what really the enemy is, why they are chasing them, so they kind of try to do what they can, and then go back and regroup and talk about it and try to solve this mystery, and then back out again.
Yeah, for me, I didn't like how the plot progressed, as well as I didn't like the aesthetic of it.
All right. I think they kept the mystery.
Oh, I do want to bring up Koi wa ameagari, and that I am still enjoying it. Like, as much as a lot of people said, you know, it's basically
fuck that. Bait. No, it's not.
I mean, it's
very, very much a shoujo style show. That's, you know, very.
That's what it is.
Like, it's very much an innocent show about a girl who just genuinely likes this guy.
Yeah, I think calling it pedo bait is like a bit of a stretch.
It's just
that being said, it does touch on what is largely a gray area.
Kinda, yeah.
In terms of morals in the West.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it very, very much so far, because it gives you all these really precious and cute moments of, you know, a high school girl's infatuation versus the contrast of a man who's like, what is he? Yeah, he's 45.
Yeah.
And it gives a contrast to like what he's thinking about, like, you know, it's getting into where, like, do I have the right to, like, take this kid's innocence, basically, not in the sexual way, but like, do I have the right to love again, as well as do I have the right to, you know, take her down this romantic path, which, like, I don't know, I love it so far.
Yeah,
if you watched Sweetness and Lightning and you wanted the father and the high school girl to hook up, this is your show.
Yeah.
I did not.
Mitsuboshi Colors.
Fantastic show.
Fuck
It's
the
pretty
police.
great. I love how brutal some of these girls can be. I don't have too much to say about it, but I need to catch up. I'm like 1 or 2 episodes behind. The last one I watched was the Halloween episode.
Oh, cool. That sounds fun. I haven't seen that.
Halloween episode? Oh, yeah.
The one where...
I remember.
Yeah. Is anyone catching up on Overlord?
It's boring.
Yeah.
So boring.
I'm trying to fight myself into continuing it.
Yeah, it's like we got a second season for what?
Yeah, I kind of feel that way as well.
The thing I don't like about, or that made me less enthusiastic, is like finding out that I don't get to watch it for the reason I liked watching the first season, which is basically I only liked watching it because I liked watching Ainz fuck people's shit up.
Yeah. I mean, he's still doing it, but it's not direct, and it makes it boring. Like, really, realistically, I don't think anybody came into season 2 thinking like, yeah, I really want to see like the chronology of the lizard people. Like, nobody cares, man. It's so boring. Oh my god, make it stop.
And then they did it, and now they don't touch upon it again. Now they moved on. Now the focus on
Yeah, that's
Sebas.
the thing about it, is that it's an arc. It's just an arc in the light novel.
And it's like, wow, great, guys. There goes half our core. Like,
Yeah.
And then after it's done, they're well, I mean, knock on wood, I haven't read the light novel, but the show is about Ainz and him, so why would they touch up on this arc again when they're giving so much, like, development to these characters that probably aren't important in the next arcs.
Yeah, so just like Shokugeki no Soma Season 3, I felt like, okay, this is building up to something, and in the end, they move on. There is no big resolution there. They don't have a line that will then continue, like they are trying to experiment on these lizard people or trying to use them for something. They are not even relevant in the next part.
Yep. So, up next, what do you want to say about Pop Team Epic, Ackee?
Oh, yeah.
That is fantastic and still as nonsensical as always.
So I heard that it got a bit more of an identity after episode 1. Is that true?
How so?
Like, it became more of its own style rather than just being a mess in episode 1.
I watched episode 2 and it's pretty much just
it's the same thing.
meme takes.
It is just the 4-panel comedy bits. Still.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
It's just still memeing along.
And I've started watching a YouTube video series that is just the episode sped through showing the references.
Alright.
It's pretty cool.
Have you watched Kanapa's video on it yet?
No.
He did that recently. I think you'll be interested in that.
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure.
I haven't watched any more of Ramen Daisuki
Same,
Koizumi-san.
and I like it.
I have. Wait. Kyle,
It's like,
did you say you have
I have not.
watched it?
I
but
only
I do
watched
like
the first episode.
Oh, yeah, I've
Like it
watched up
seemed
until...
interesting enough, but I asked someone. It's basically going to be episode 1 style
It's not
the whole time.
as as I thought it would be, though. I will say
It is... Well, I've watched 9 episodes now, I think, and it is the same thing.
it's very similar, but
Over
it's
and
not
over.
as extreme as I thought.
Because
It
I
would
mean,
be.
like, if you like it, that's cool. It's not really
Yeah,
my
that's
cup
fair.
of tea.
Totally understand.
I would like view this as the gashikashi of
Kinda.
noodles.
I have not watched any more Ryuuou.
Oh,
no,
fuck, I
Oshigoto,
forget that
and
exists.
Don't
I want
care
to watch more.
anymore.
I know Glenn and Matt really like it.
I know that I will catch
Yeah.
up on it by the end of the season.
like I'm not. I wouldn't criticize it for having
questionable qualities.
A bit of
pedo
fluff.
That's the one thing I didn't like about it.
Which is something I can easily criticize it for, but I mean, I don't care enough about that to really care. For me, it was just mostly I don't care about the game they're playing.
Well, they didn't really have any romantic or sexual.
Well, I mean, in episode 1,
in the first episode,
there was.
All right, in episode 1, like she's little naked part.
Oh yeah,
See, that was
so
unnecessary.
I remember it. Yeah,
very.
I've genuinely heard a lot of good things about it though, like more serious things.
Yeah, I mean that's
especially
fair.
with the light novels as well. It's supposed to be really good.
Honestly, I'll say I want to catch up on Slow Start, but it is probably not my cup of tea either. I liked how they animated a lot of parts very well.
It's really lively.
They kept it lively animated. I hear a lot of staff are shared with Darling and the Franxx. Other than that, it's not super my cup of tea.
Enough.
It's too slow for mine.
Yorimo, loving it.
Dude, I've seen. So I think I watched 1 episode to begin with, and then a few weeks later I watched 2 through 5. I only planned to watch like 1 or 2, but I caught up at the time, and I love it.
It's been a long time since I've gotten just a good, plain old, nice adventure show.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got a lot of facets to it. It doesn't stick to the same kind of formula every episode.
It's quite creative in its like its pacing as well, like especially with comedy.
And I love the characters. Like they're very much not static. They have their own goals, their own motivations.
They bounce off each other very well.
And the faces are great. That's pretty much it. I'm enjoying it so far. I am caught up on it.
It's the one I've seen most of this season.
Violet Evergarden.
What's that again?
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty.
It is very pretty.
I'm behind on it, but I like the direction that it's going.
It's fun. Like right now, episode wise, we're finally getting some of the plot I've been waiting for.
Because
we're finally getting like what happened.
You were starting to get a little bit disappointed, weren't you?
Yeah, I was getting disappointed only because I expected more plot, I think, instead of like the very self-contained episode format it's been showing.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of that. I wish
you made fun of me for fucking saying that, Patrick.
Did I make fun of you for that? When?
So I said there's going to be more
think
episodic slice of life elements.
Yeah, I don't feel like this show
I
is
think I remember that too.
self-contained at all. I feel like it very much bleeds over into the next episodes that she is developing. And
I mean, yeah, it's showing development, but the plot isn't cohesive.
It's not linear.
Like the actual plot between episodes are not linear.
So,
but now
what is
we're
the
finally
plot in your view?
Well, in the first episode, our basic conflict is, what happened to her major? Is he actually dead? Like, they're implying he's dead. Is, what's going to happen when she finds out? That's pretty much it. But then...
And you feel like they haven't done that?
Well, we're finally getting into it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this show ends before I have a concrete opinion about it.
Yeah, the way I see this show is just a girl that doesn't know about emotions or feelings. And it's basically just a robot who learns about what it means to be human. And she has a hard time relating to people and talking to them and understanding them. But she is clearly like growing more accustomed to it and is starting to get into the groove of it. And
like,
I think
like you have the problem with franxx not showing things. One thing I really wanted to know is like, why is she like that? Because we still haven't been told why is she so good at killing. Why is she, like, basically we haven't been shown her true backstory.
Does the anime go in a different order than the light novels in terms of telling the story?
I don't know.
I think it might to an extent. Because
from what I understand, people are talking about like it's just now starting to get back into what was covered in the first novel, which was the one that won the award.
I heard that the light novel has a lot of it's more focused on other characters and her kind of helping them and looking at them.
Yeah.
But the
last
anime
thing I heard
focused
was
on
that
her.
it was even more slice of life than the anime is.
It focused less on Violet, is what I heard.
Okay.
I mean, I'm enjoying
So
this
far,
show because I'm enjoying
it.
Yeah,
watching
the
her
setting.
develop.
The setting is stellar, like the post Great War like career change sort of thing. Big fan.
It's still very much a pretty anime, despite I think the PV was a bit. What's the word to put?
Misleading.
A little misleading. In the way that, game developers will release pre-rendered footage of a game that isn't actually using the same engine.
The PV, the show would never look as good as the PV, but it is, like, freakishly close. It's closer than anything else has ever been.
It has its moments, certainly.
Yeah, it has its moments.
I mean, I don't think anybody would be surprised that the entire show doesn't look like the PV. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. But I've been looking forward to like more of PV moments, I should say. But anyways, I'm enjoying it so far. And it's pretty much the anime we want to cover this season.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah, I'd say that it all covers it.
Yeah.
We'll be back at the end of it all.
Yeah, we'll certainly give you a different episode than we have given you today, but more emotion.
Whoa.
All right. Now I want to ask: is anyone else watching Black Clover?
No.
Nope.
No.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, a bit.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've heard people saying it gets better.
Yeah,
but
I'm starting to like it.
the only way it'd get better for me is if they like either killed the MC off or made him age 10 years to where he's not an annoying prick.
Yeah, that's a fair concern, I would say.
So Ackee, does the MC die or does he grow up?
But it's still
Like
a solid show.
Let me boil this question down. Does he stop yelling?
He's not yelling as much.
Fucking score, yeah.
Yeah.
Screams internally.
So yeah, this show
I'm sure there's a lot of people that will complain, be like, but Kyle, that's not what's so good about the anime.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone will do that. It was pushed super heavily by Crunchyroll when it first started to air. And there was so many memes about it just being shouty and bad and awful, and this is not at all the next big shonen that will take the throne from all of them, as you promised. And yeah, a lot of people could easily go into this with bad or with too high expectations and just realizing that what the shit is this? This is bad. But yeah, it starts off kind of and then it slowly improves. Sort of like Fairy Tail in a way, I guess, but with a lot less stupid fan service and, well, just tropey characters.
Yeah, that's the reason I didn't watch any more of it. Like, yeah, MC's annoying, but the more annoying thing was how unoriginal a lot of the motivations, the plot developments, it just felt like a rehash of a lot of different shonen battle plots.
Yeah, Fairy Tail did not have anything original in it eventually. But I think Black Clover is much better in that regard. It is, well, it incorporates a lot of like politics and the nobles being snot-nosed and like looking down upon him because he is a commoner. But they're also looking down on Yuno, which is like a clearly the most talented mage to live in this lifetime. And yeah, like through Yuno, most people get like, oh, well, I guess these commoners aren't as shitty as I should think, maybe. And then they start to open up the idea that, oh, yeah, I now realize that, holy shit, Asta is incredible, even though he has no magic.
Well, like one of the things I saw is just like he literally has a 9-tailed fox sealed inside of him. Not literally, but I mean, like
he vored that thing up.
You know, Naruto. I look back at Naruto and like, yeah, he's a ninja that kind of sucked as being a ninja until like, oh, I have a giant 9-tailed demon fox sealed inside of me that gives me superpowers when I need them. When like the plot's getting harsh and shit needs to get fucked up, I unleash my 9-tailed power. Whereas Asta was it a demon book?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a demon book sealed inside of him.
But Yuno does not have any sort of like underlying power. Then he breaks out.
Think about this. All right, just like Naruto doesn't have power, Sasuke is a top elite ninja.
Yeah.
Whereas Asta's brother is just really good at being a mage, and all the girls like him. Like I'm showing the similarities between the two plots.
Yeah, that doesn't help me because I haven't watched a lick of Naruto.
Yeah, I'm just saying like it's pretty much the exact same kind of setting to where like Naruto and Sasuke become friends, even though Sasuke's kind of a dick. But he's like super proficient as a ninja, whereas like he then gets frustrated by this dark power that Naruto conceals. Whereas like it's almost the same thing with Asta and his brother. Like his brother doesn't want to be one-upped by Asta, and then he is one-upped by Asta. So I don't know what happens after that, but that's pretty much how Naruto starts. Let me know if Asta's brother turns to the dark side to gain more power.
I doubt he will. That is absolutely not the kind of character they've made him. He is not like pursuing power.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's about it for this episode. Like, we didn't have a clear goal for this episode. We just wanted to. We were originally going to do an anime of this anime of the year for 2017, but that kind of fell through because, yeah, like I said, it's March. It's a bit too late to do it, and I don't think a lot of us really care to talk about.
We talked about a lot of them already, to be fair.
Yeah,
we've said what we need to say during the AOTS for last year.
Yeah, and then we were able to kind of tie up the ones that got missed, at least on Ackee's end of things.
And we're a bit too late to release it now.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, thank you for watching and listening. This has been episode 69, and our next episode will probably be end of season.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll probably take some time to catch up with the late shows.
Some shows will be done, some won't be.
Yeah. I don't want to have a repeat of last time.
Yeah.
So, wait.
Well, anyways, thanks for watching.
We gotta do our intro things. You can find the audio only on our website, as well as all our links to Twitter and other things.
I was getting ready for the show.
Do you want to take over?
Please leave a comment, like and subscribe. If you would like to listen to this podcast, you can find it on iTunes, you can find it on animeabroad.com, or you can watch it here on YouTube.
And if you agree or disagree with me, be sure to write it in the comments.
Give Ackee your rating out of 8. No, 10.
Give him a 0.2 out of 0.2.
Ray Ackee.
I'll give
that's 100%, by the way.
I'll give Darling of the franxx a 0.2 out of 10, thanks.
Well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
See you.